What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nick and Jack Show. This is our third episode of the year of 2019, and we're excited to bring you this next rendition of the show.
Absolutely.
We got a lot for you today. We got some track, a lot of basketball, a little bit of hockey. We got a new segment, Logan's Lookout. He's going to give a rundown of the upcoming games. Then we got a special guest coming on the show later, Alex Schoppen, the hoop star, senior. And I think Jack's going to get us started off with some track action.
Absolutely. First and foremost, you're all probably wondering why Nick and I are both wearing the same colored shirt. We did not plan this. This was completely accidental. We would never try and coordinate our outfits together. So just putting that out there for everyone. Like you said, we'll jump into some track right now. Track team was at Oberlin this past weekend for the Oberlin Invitational. To kick it off, Brett Syke won the 1 mile run with a time of 4:42. I don't know about you, Nick, but that's pretty fast.
My mile's like 8, so yeah.
Yeah, I think nowadays I'm pushing maybe a 10-minute mile if I'm lucky.
It's all the beer.
Yeah, it's a culmination of a lot of things, I got to say.
Gotcha.
Austin Babchek placed second in the triple jump event with a 10.94 in meters, and he also set a school record. So big record-breaking week for the Cougars in track and field. Brett Syke and Austin Babchek, along with their sprint mates Finn McDonald and Emmanuel Snyder, broke a school record in the 4x400 relay with a time of 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And then also another record breaker is Rebecca Pennington.
That is a name we've heard
quite a bit.
Year.
She is a incredible track star. She actually went to nationals
championships.
For cross country.
That's pretty impressive because she came in. She's a first year. I remember just seeing her picture just plastered all around campus. It's on every day you check Chatham Cougar. It's like Rebecca Pennington, or either a record, a win, or going to some fancy new championship. So that's a big accomplishment for her in her first year. So it's pretty exciting.
Definitely a bright career ahead of her for sure. Like you said, a first year. But she won the 1 mile event also with a time of 5 minutes and 28 seconds, and that also broke a school record. Pennington also won the 3,000 meter run with a time of 10 minutes and 40 seconds. So 2 events won for the first year. That's a pretty solid weekend, I'd have to say.
What I think is pretty interesting is, I don't know if a lot of people remember, but we had this podcast last year. I think we had like 6 or 7 shows, and it seemed like because last year we didn't. It wasn't as good as it is this year. We just kind of did a rundown of everything, but it seemed like when we went over track, we were saying new school record, and it seems like once again this year it's just record break after record break.
It's a theme.
So I'd love to see. It obviously the coach is doing something right, and I'd love to see the difference between the athletes we have here now and the athletes that had these old school records.
Yeah,
because all these athletes came in, broke them with ease their first year, and it's not like they're breaking them and it was like a lucky situation. Right. They break it, and then the next week they break their own record again.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty impressive.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I believe actually Austin Babchek might have broken his own record in one of the events that he did. So, I mean, there's a perfect example right there, breaking your own record. Also, going along with onto the sprint side of track and field, the 4x200 relay team consisting of Sadie Abrams, Cara DeGrano, Carly Domke, and Kelly Gay. They finished second in their event with a time of 1 minute and 55 seconds. Those same 3, DeGrano, Domke, Gay, and also Morgan Wagner ran the 4x400 relay with a time of 4 minutes and 38 seconds, placing them second in the event. And then over to the jump side for the women, Eden Bloom placed second in the triple jump with 9.76 meters, and Sydney Francis recorded a new school record in throwing with 10.38 meters. So, again, more records being broke.
See, that actually kind of surprised me about Eden, because I thought that I'd seen a couple different times she said she was retiring, and then I saw one time she said coming out of retirement. So I'd love to know,
is she retired or not?
Exactly. She just can't hang it up.
She's I don't blame her on us.
Exactly.
She can't make up her mind if she's retired or not.
Well, I'm coming back for a 5th year.
Well,
that's the same deal with me.
I guess. Okay.
Wasn't ready to hang it up yet.
This guy's pulling a Brett Favre on everyone. Anyways, and back to another. Again, we're going to be mentioning her name a lot. I feel this podcast. Rebecca Pennington was actually named PAC Rookie of the Week. Rightfully so, winning 2 events at the Oberlin Invitational. That's pretty impressive. So congratulations, Rebecca, and to the rest of the track team on a very solid outing at Oberlin. Do you want to hop over into hockey now?
Yeah, I feel it. Let's just mention lacrosse really quick. They had a pretty rough scrimmage game last week. They lost 18-3 against John Carroll, who I believe are the reigning national champions.
Yeah.
So, being a second-year program, it's not really surprising to get a loss to the Natty champs. But they have their first real game this Saturday at 5:30 at Highmark Stadium. Mm-hmm. So be sure to go out that. I'll be on the PA, on the mic out there. Yeah. I always love going.
It's a great venue.
Highmark.
It's awesome
definitely.
Watching games and being at games out there.
Absolutely.
Because it's, that view of the whole city and the river, and then you're watching, soccer or lacrosse. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Definitely. People at home, if you haven't, please come out to Highmark, check some games out, because not only is it a lot of fun to watch some Cougar sports, but it's also a great experience just to be down there. Highmark Stadium is a beautiful stadium.
Definitely. And we get a lot of our information from our own athletic website, and because it being a scrimmage game, there wasn't a lot of there weren't a lot of stats or information from it. So once we get a little more information on this next game and just about their upcoming season, we'll have one of their players on soon. We'll be able to talk about it a little more, but wanted to throw them out there. But
yeah, absolutely.
Now we'll get into a little hockey.
Sure thing.
Women's hockey had there's not a lot to say about this weekend. They kind of had a rough week. They played Wednesday at noon. They were making up from that incredible storm that was supposed to roll through.
The storm was the cold weather? Is that from the week before?
Well, it was supposed to be a storm. Remember, it was supposed to be like a very bad storm, but it ended up just like sprinkling for a little bit. But they lost to Newman 3-0. Jill Rowland recorded 8 shots on goal, and now they're 7-16 overall and 4-12 in their conference. Mm-hmm. So not a lot to say right there, but they do have another game coming up this week, so hopefully
they can bounce back.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's at Frozen Pond this week instead of
Pittsburgh Ice Arena.
Okay. I hate going out to the ice arena.
I don't think I've ever been out to the ice arena.
Really?
I usually go out to Frozen Pond.
You talk about how Frozen Pond is cold.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Ice Arena is freezing.
Really?
And they have like a 1960 heater under there that does not really work. Then men's hockey, I was at the game. I did the PA for their senior night this past Saturday. Unfortunately, they did get the loss. They actually had back-to-back losses. They lost 5-1 against Utica, with the lone goal being scored by Dan Bellafiore, the senior, one of the ones who was honored the other night. And then they lost 8-2 Saturday against Nazareth. And from my understanding, Nazareth isn't that good of a team. Mm-hmm. So if you ever have a senior night, you don't schedule a great team.
Right.
So you kind of always expect to get a win on senior night, like the guys basketball team did this Saturday. Yeah. But I was just shocked because not only did they lose, they lost 8-2.
That is,
and I was just wondering how that happened because
that is rough.
It was pretty night. Definitely. Yeah. And they only had one goal the whole game. They scored the second goal with, I believe, like 2.5 seconds left, because at that point you just want to get out of there. Your guys are losing 8-1 on their senior night. That's not a good vibe in the stadium.
I will give them a lot of credit though, because I remember
it's a big step up from last year.
Big step up, but against Utica, I do remember last year because I was at that game. They lost, I think it was like 14 or 15-1.
I think we were both actually at that game.
And it was pretty rough to watch. I just remember, wow, this is a lot of announcing for a hockey game. It's probably a little bit more than needed, honestly. And but
what stinks about that is like, we have to kind of be monotone for the other teams. It's like Utica goal, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But with the Cougars, we can.
But hey, this year they only let up 5 goals against Utica, and Utica notoriously has been a very, very good hockey program in Division III. And Chatham plays in a very tough hockey league in general. With Utica, Elmira, I believe Kings is also a very good school too. So there's a couple, definitely tough teams that they got to face. But again, another young team on campus. Maybe they'll wind up like the men's basketball team in a couple years and be,
hopefully
first or second in the conference.
Speaking of basketball, let's hear what you got.
Yeah, so
big weekend.
Yeah, big weekend, definitely for men's basketball and women's basketball. Men's basketball senior night, they had a huge win over Geneva, 75-71. Isaiah Brown was their leading scorer with 21 points. He also had 5 rebounds and 4 assists.
Also named PAC Player of the Week because he averaged, I believe, 20 and a half points a game.
Yeah, to be honest, I always round up the little 0.5.
21 points.
21 points, because can you really have half a point or 0.6 of a point?
Not really.
Exactly. Anyways, so, just a huge win for the men's basketball team. Puts them tied for second, actually, in the PAC. So, definitely moving towards possibly a home playoff game, first ever in Chatham men's basketball history. So
I'm going to try to finagle something with our coach because he's trying to give us an off day for Saturday. But I really want to be up there on the stream announcing the first home playoff game. So I'm going to try to like get the guys on the team to agree, like, yo, let's practice this Saturday and let's take Tuesday off because like that'd be awesome for the whole team or even like a fraction of the team to be able to be there. I know it's going to be a whiteout if it's a home game, so that'd be. I know the stadium would be electric if you can have like
it would be
a little part
incredible.
of every team in there.
That atmosphere would be awesome. Everyone, stay alert because Nick and we will tweet out at you guys on our Twitter about the schedule and when the game is exactly on Tuesday, just to clarify for you guys. So we will get you that information as soon as we can.
Speaking of social media, follow us, Twitter, Instagram, at Nick and Jack Show. It's spelled how it sounds, Nick and Jack Show. We're getting a couple more followers. Everybody's getting pretty engaged. I know who we're going to have Alex Schoppen on later in the show, and he won our little poll by a landslide. And I'm glad he won. That was the one who I pretty much wanted to interview. Perfect timing after a big senior day win.
Absolutely.
Playoffs coming up.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep throwing out polls at you guys, keep you guys interactive and up to date on everything. Over to the women's side, they had a really tough loss. That was a tough loss.
They were up 13 going into the fourth quarter,
and they lost 62-61 to Geneva. Tough way to lose on senior night, or senior day, I should say. But Katie Sig, as usual, one of the leading scorers. She led the way with 20 points, chipped in 11 rebounds and 6 assists also. That moves them to a even 12-12 record and 9-7 in the conference. So, as season's winding down this last week, definitely need to make a last effort push for the playoffs if they want to find themselves in the playoff picture.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I think that about does it for the highlights.
Yeah.
Stick around, and we're going to have Alex Schoppen, star hoops player, on the show next.
Welcome back, everyone, from our break. We are here with our special guest today, Alex Schoppen, the sharpshooter from right around the corner, Central Catholic graduate. Shop, good seeing you, my friend.
It's great
to have you today. How you doing?
Definitely.
I'm wonderful. How you doing, Nick?
Fantastic.
Can't complain.
Fantastic.
Got a good star on the show.
Yeah, the big star on the show. You're the big man on campus, as they sometimes refer to you as.
Oh, is that true?
That's the word on the street on Chatham. Absolutely.
That's quite an honor.
Yeah, Nick, why don't you kick it off for us? Because I know you've had a question in mind.
Let's just jump in. So,
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure almost everybody on campus is familiar with the past game. I believe we had 9 or 10 seniors on your senior day. What did that mean to you, getting a win against Geneva on your senior day after all 4 years has kind of led up to this season?
Well, not only just getting a win on senior day, it's that win against Geneva. We always have some bad blood against them for the last 4 years. Going all the way back, it was a big game when we beat them in the playoffs in our freshman year, kind of putting our name on the map at the time, and ever since we've had a lot of close games. So making like a culmination of all of that into a senior night win really was a special moment.
Definitely. And it was an exciting game to watch. I remember I was up at the top, and I remember you guys were up 4 with, I believe, like 4 seconds left, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he just comes down from down court. I don't think he's a very good three shooter.
Ethan
and he
Moose
just
does not shoot many
soaks
threes.
One up there.
No.
Yeah, he does not shoot many threes, as you would know, as you played against him a couple of years now.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented player, but he's only shot probably maybe a handful of threes on the year. And of course, he probably hits one against us.
Yeah.
But, that's something we just have to overcome.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. All right, so for me, a big question that I've been thinking about is, as Nick said, you're one of the seniors on this team, but you're also one of the last remaining members of the inaugural Chatham team. What has been kind of the thing that's been keeping you going, and through the ups and downs that hasn't really kind of deterred you from continuing with basketball here?
Well, I just think that I saw it was a stat, I don't know, I forget where it was, that it's only like 1.1% of high school athletes go on to play any sort of collegiate ball. No matter like the subdivision, D3 to D1, NAIA.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times I do think that it's like, wow, I am only a small percentage of those athletes who went on to play somewhere. It doesn't matter where you go. So I just keep thinking I had another opportunity to play another 4 years somewhere. So, and play a game that I love, and I cherish every moment of that.
I like that mindset. That's a good mindset.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
So coming into this year, currently you have the best record that any Chatham men's Chatham basketball team has had to date. Was there a different kind of mindset going into this year? You have a new coach. Like Jack said, this is the final year that the inaugural guys will be on the team. Mm-hmm. Is there any kind of new mindset that you guys had, or have you been kind of like doing the same stuff?
I think that we're all very familiar with each other, but I think that the chemistry finally clicked, like, to the maximum this year, because we've had so many ups and downs from freshman to junior year. It was some certain issues freshman year, some certain issues sophomore year, junior, etc. But I think this year is when it finally clicked, and we began to feed off each other. And I think the maturation of all of us came at this point. We respond to the adversity a lot better this year than the first 3 years. And I know you, being on the team for a few years, saw that
Absolutely,
there were so many collapses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, that happens with a young team like that.
And this year, even from last year to this year, I mean, you see, even if you go through our schedule, we have a lot of close wins. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that has to do with the maturity we have to overcome that adversity.
Gotcha. Absolutely, yeah. So sticking with this year and the theme that's been going on, take us back to before the season started, before scrimmages, before even practice, and when you guys were just, working out and preseason workouts. What has been the biggest change and kind of improvement from day one to right now?
Honestly, it's just the strength conditioning leading up to the season, because when I came in as a freshman, it didn't seem like at first that the physical demand would be that much different, because the season seemed like it was the same length, but the intensity of the practice every day and the games, the speed of the games, really kind of took a toll on my body, and I know it took a toll on a lot of other people's by the end of the year. So I tried to do my best to eat a lot better, because I really didn't take into account nutrition going into the season at all. So I tried to do what I could to eat the best I could, and to work out in a way that I could strengthen every part of my body to try to prevent as many injuries as possible.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, you've been doing, a great job. I know you've always been talking about your health and just kind of your off-season regimen. I know that you're you're a big part of that is, for you. So that's good. It's very good.
So you mentioned you had a couple problems with your body, but still somehow you were able to score 1,000 points in your college basketball history. And I remember you just said only about 1.1% of high school athletes go on to play college. So what does that mean to you, going from not only being that 1.1%, but to be such a minuscule percentage to score 1,000 points at the collegiate level?
I give all the credit, honestly, to my teammates throughout these 4 years, because I couldn't have had the opportunity to play with a better group of guys, from the ones who have been there from the beginning to ones who came and gone.
Yeah.
But the fact that I had the opportunity to play with them, they were the ones who helped me get to that point. And I didn't have the best high school experience, just with chemistry, like team success and everything. So I think that just like seeing that, I just like to think that I contributed in some way to the progress we made from freshman to senior year, and I think it really shows as a team.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's
shows.
Yeah. So that I think if that's one piece that I could contribute to the team, then I feel pretty good about myself.
So we know, everyone who's watching, we all know you're a basketball player. We all know how good of a shooter you are and how good you've been throughout your career. But what is one sport that you wish you could maybe go back in time and pick up and kind of excel at differently from basketball?
Well, my parents, up until going into high school, my parents always said I was a much better baseball player than a basketball player. The only thing, they never deterred me from playing one or the other. They gave me the freedom to choose that. But I know, talking even the last couple years, even like some of my coaches and stuff, they thought that I should have played baseball instead of basketball, or at the same time.
What position did you play in baseball?
I was a pitcher and a shortstop.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. Got an arm on you then.
Explains
the really good shooting then, right?
I guess you think that translates.
Yeah.
Then.
I mean, we can always use more pitchers for the team, so I'm sure they'd let you come out.
It's been a while since I pitched. I don't think they want to see that now.
It's like riding a bike.
Gotcha.
You'll get back into it.
You never
easy.
forget.
Oh yeah.
Senior year, go out. You scored 1,000 points. You might as well go out and pitch for the Chatham team too.
Well, man, I don't know if I have enough left in the tank to do that. To go through.
I bet you would shock yourself.
So we've had a lot of serious, in-depth questions so far, but I think the final question left to ask is, what is it like to be the first ever guest on the one and only Nick and Jack show?
Well, I got lost coming down here.
Okay.
Didn't know that this was even down here. I made my way through Mellon before, but I never knew this was all down here. And when I came down, I was pretty impressed with the setup down here.
Yeah, this is actually our first time down here. I really like, they got the nice desk right here. They got all the toys down here.
It is.
I feel
That's
very
exactly what I was
legit.
thinking with the Cougar logo in the front. And yeah, I love it, and I've seen you guys doing the broadcast all the time, and knowing that you guys were starting a show, I thought that was a great idea, and both your parts.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, hey, what better guest to have on first than Alex Schoppen? We appreciate
Perfect
you
timing.
coming on.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Good luck this weekend and tomorrow. You have a game tomorrow, so that's going to be huge. And good luck with playoffs next week.
Hey, I
Big
appreciate
playoff
it.
game. One last question. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that. Most likely, knock on wood, everyone at home, please knock on wood for the team. Probably going to get a home playoff game. What's that going to be like? The first ever home playoff game in basketball history here at Chatham for men's.
It's definitely been a long time coming. That is exactly what we talked about freshman year. Basically, first meeting we had with the new group of guys was we ultimately want to host a home playoff game. Yes, we want to win a PAC championship, but we want to do it through the actual campus, through the AFC. And I would say there's a very good chance that that's going to happen, and what a better way to end the last 4 years.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And most likely you'll have us up there on the stream, so that'll be even better.
Oh,
yeah,
we'll
we'll be getting rowdy up in the broadcast.
Cougar Den.
Yeah, the Cougar Den. Absolutely. Well, my friend, as always, pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
A great friend of the show, and definitely going to have you back on. So thanks again. We appreciate it. Welcome back, everyone. We have another new segment coming at you guys right now, and it is the wrap-up of the game of the week. And Nick and I, over here, we were talking about what we thought was the game of the week. We definitely think that men's basketball was probably the highlight of the week. A huge win, pretty much kind of like a must-need win to solidify their spot atop the PAC for playoffs.
Especially if they're trying to get a
home
playoff game.
Yeah, and also senior night, big senior day for all the guys on the team, too. I don't know about you, but I'm going to just start off with Mark Wells has been playing some awesome basketball lately. And
Definitely.
I love it. And especially at this point of the season, getting towards the end of the closer to playoffs, and especially with Saturday, they're playing St. Vincent, a team that's notorious for having a lot of big guys on their team. Big time effort out of Mark Wells that game. I think that he could definitely have a big impact on that game if he shows up to play like he's been doing the last couple games.
You have a 6'4" guy right under the basket. I know the first kind of half of the season he seemed kind of timid up there, but like you said, these past 3 games he's really been taking charge and just being more aggressive, and that's what we've been waiting to see this whole time. And they're definitely going to need some of that oomph going into play St. Vincent this weekend, especially if they're trying to come out with a win. And that would pretty much solidify, if they beat St. Vincent, that'd pretty much solidify a
solid, I think, two overall. I think they would be a solid 2 overall spots, so they would definitely get a home playoff game.
But overall, an awesome game. Like I was there. I wasn't working it or anything, but I was able to catch the whole game, and it was a very exciting atmosphere. I remember they were down going into the half, and they managed to climb back up, and they had a little bit of a lead for a while, and then it seemed like the last 20 to 30 seconds of the game took like 7 or 8 minutes, just because it got very intense. I know we just talked to Schoppen about it just a little bit, but I think they were up 4 point. Bomar drained 2 free throws to put them up 4, and with 4 seconds in the game, you're up 2 possessions. You'd like to think that kind of solidifies a win. So I know I got excited, and then you got the guy, he comes down, drains a 3 who never shoots threes to put him behind by 1 point. So I'm just sitting there thinking, all right, obviously they're going to foul them. They have to make both of these, or at least one,
right.
But they have to make both of them. So if another miracle 3 happens again, the worst case scenario is overtime. But obviously they didn't get it. But it was a really exciting ending, especially on their senior day. You could tell it meant a lot to all of them, and
absolutely.
not just the seniors. Like that was a big game for the team overall.
Oh, absolutely. And the atmosphere in the Cougar Den and the AFC was awesome.
Definitely.
I mean, the fans were going nuts, and fans
you were electric on the mic.
Well, thank you. I try. I like to get the crowd engaged a little bit and, keep them on their toes. Fans, again, I know I threw it out there before, but again, please, Tuesday, most likely going to be the men's playoff game. Please come out and support. We would love to see just a huge crowd come. It's going to be probably a whiteout. So please come with your cheering voices and all, because it's going to be a fun game. I know whoever they have to play, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Well, if they're the second seed, they're going to be.
They probably play the 7th seed. Because for basketball it's 1 through 8.
I was thinking this whole time it was the 1 through 4.
Yeah, most of the sports I feel have
it's 1 through 8.
It's 1 through 4 or 1 through 6, but for some reason basketball is 1 through 8.
No, like every sport is 1 through 8 except for baseball and I think maybe softball. We're the only ones that are 1 through 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
so it's crazy. That's just like
it's a little
to me
odd,
that you can be second to last and still make the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's like
you could have a losing record and make the playoffs. Like that just doesn't seem like
it's not like consistent throughout like all sports. Like you would think that all the sports would be kind of the same cutoff.
Because if we had the top 8 teams going, we would definitely not be worried about making the playoffs this year.
Absolutely, yeah, that would not be one of.
I'm talking in terms of baseball, not basketball.
Oh, okay, all right, well, fair enough. Also, back to the seniors. I know we keep mentioning them, but we've got a couple, guys that have been the all-time leading, leaders in a couple categories. Isaiah Brown being our all-time leading scorer. Alex Schoppen, who we just had on, our all-time leading three-point shooter, most three-pointers made in Cougar history, and Anthony Bomar. Mr. Everything, Mr. Reliable, leads Chatham Basketball in history in rebounds, assists, and steals. So just goes to show you kind of who's been the huge impact guys for this team last 4 years, and it's definitely been these 3 guys. They've definitely been the key to the engine going, honestly.
Definitely. It's been exciting to just kind of watch them grow as teammates, grow as players. But I think if you're ready, we're going to go into our brand new segment.
Yes.
Logan's Lookout.
Logan's Lookout.
He pretty much just gives us a sum of the games coming up this week. So he's behind the camera. He's doing the operating this week. So he's going to give us his little rundown.
All right, guys. This week we got a big slate of games as winter sports coming to an end and spring sports are kicking off. Wednesday we got men's basketball at Penn State Greater Allegheny non-conference game. And then Thursday through Saturday is the PEC Championships for swimming. Men's hockey has a game. They're on the road at Lebanon Valley Friday. Women's hockey is home this weekend, Friday and Saturday against Manhattanville. Track and field Saturday is at Mount Union. Men's and women's hoops Saturday is at St. Vincent as they finish the conference schedule. Men's hockey is then Saturday at Elmira, and then men's lax is kicking off the season with their home opener on Saturday.
Definitely.
Wow, jam-packed week. Logan, thank you.
It's going to be fun.
Nice job, first time. Did a great job, killed it. I think that's it for me.
I think we're good. One last time, follow us, Instagram, Twitter, at Nick and Jack Show. We'd love to
hit that follow button.
We're pretty engaged with the followers.
And please give us feedback. I know a lot of people have been giving us feedback for the show. Please continue to give us feedback. We love hearing about what you guys think about the show and what you think could improve, honestly. And we're always looking to improve.
Definitely. This video's going up next day. I'm going to edit it tonight, put it up tomorrow, and we will see you guys next week with a bunch of spring sport action.
Absolutely. Go Cougs.
Thank you.